Hello, this is Mr. Fleming, and it's Thursday, January 7th, and our country has survived an insurrection, so good for us. And look forward to 2021, and hope it's a much more successful year than 2020. Although there are some things about 2020 I really did like, and some of that has to do with my students' work and the way they're growing. So we are coming to January 11th, in which my students will start coming back, and I'm expecting product from everybody. For those students in the different cohorts, please check the LMS out so that you're up to speed on what we're doing in the classroom. Please keep in mind, if we are remote, you need to watch these videos during your regular class time, and I'll set these up so you can have the dates on them. This one is for our 3 and 4, those are my upper level students, and we were working with the human figure. We went through how to do gesture drawings. We went through how to reduce the human figure to a geometric form, to be able to establish movement, proportion, and light source, and those things I'm looking forward to seeing there. Now, my upper level students have their own interest, and we did also do a series of paintings, and we're trying to include many of our different lesson plans. And when we're coming to the springtime, my seniors and my juniors should be exploring what they want in their particular portfolio. We are looking for pieces that are designed really 8 by 10, and that's because this is a very strange year. We talked about make sure we understand when we're working on the vertical or the horizontal, and I gave the option of splitting down to 4 quadrants. Now I did this sketch over here from the thumbnail over here, and keep in mind that we're using the elements of art to create a principle, working line to create movement. Here is my rough sketch, my thumbnail. Here is my rough sketch, and we talked about this in class, and really it's not a human being, it's just really me working it out. I have to kind of work out that space a little bit better before I can go to final draft. So you can see with this drawing, I have worked out my proportions, I've worked out my composition and my design. I know where the center point is, so I have a very clear focal point. And now my figure is worked out. My feet, my hands, my foreshortening, my position. I have this very interesting crouching position as if he's coming out, which contrasts the far away position from the very first one. So I have my basic design done. Then I went into a series of color studies. And that's what I want to focus on just a little bit, color, okay? So before I go to my final draft, I'm checking out different color schemes that I might use, and I choose on one, and I choose this one, and then I go to final draft. I did say you keep your final draft in your sketchbook, and that's fine, but when you come in Monday, if you're using the figure, this is the one I'm looking for, where you really have worked out all your positions, your proportions, and you have something final in your sketchbook that I can look at. I do want to see all kinds of work in your sketchbook. We did the painting drills over here. The tone drills can be done all the time, but we should also be seeing your work in here. I want to talk about painting just a little bit, because that was something we went over in the beginning of the year, and some of the figure drawings included painting. I have students who just love color and painting, that's great. So I did this one over here, and with one I'm really playing with color. Okay, and I did this one in class too, and I'm not sure where the rough is, but it's around here someplace. It's right, this is my thumbnail, and this is my rough, and this is my final draft. Now with this painting here, you might notice I've already put the field of color down there. That is actually a rich purple. It might be reading as blue or black on the camera, I'm not quite sure. But what I used also is this product, and I covered the label because this is just a masking medium. It's rubber cement, really. It smells like ammonia. It's really kind of toxic as far as the smelling. It's really not very good, but it's an excellent tool. And if you're painting, especially with watercolor, might be worth investing in. This is kind of expensive. You get this on sale, $17, $22. You buy it not on sale, it might be up as much as $25. There are brand names out there. Frisk is one of them, but you're looking for a watercolor masking medium, and there are different kinds, but this one is to mask out paint when I did it. And this just it's just a tool. We talked about different tools that we can use for painting. This one is very good for creating positive and negative space. So I have my rough in here, I've got my thumbnails here, I've got different color choices, yellow and purple, purple and yellow. blue and yellow. I kind of like this one, but I chose not to. This is a green sun on a yellow and orange background. I'm going with this one. I want to see color studies. When you do your painting, you should have a knowledge of where you're going to beforehand. So anyway, I put the masking fluid on first, and then I did a watercolor wash. When we went through what washes out, you put water down first, and you lay your color down, you get nice smooth surface, and I did many layers here. Now the masking fluid, like I said, it's a variation of a rubber cement. If you rub it, it just peels off like rubber. I said it was toxic. Only if you drink it. Don't drink it and you're fine. Okay, but it does smell terrible, and it's not really good. You want to just be careful of it, that's all. But it's not as bad as turpentine, that's for sure. So I have my paint down there. I have my drawing. I already know where I'm going. So what I'm going to do is remove my masking fluid. So I have these stars in the background. All I'm going to do is just rub it, and you can see it just comes right off. And those will be stars underneath my sky. So I don't know if you can see that on camera. And I just gotta, you might want to use gloves or a piece of cloth, but I like to use my hands, very tactile. So you can see what happened here is because I used the masking fluid, I just rubbed it off, and now I have stars. I don't know if you can really see that way. I'm going to move you a little bit closer. I really can't. All right. I'm doing the same thing now with the rays. Maybe we see that better. And I rub it. It comes right off. And I get some drippage in there. But for the most part, it's nice and white. I'll have to be careful about my colors. I might also be able to erase some of that. If you use good paper, I got a little bit glitched there. See, it just comes off just like rubber cement. I do have some on the eyes and the lips also. Okay, so how well can you see? Let me move this movie forward here. So what I've done now is I have very clearly a positive and negative space. So here's my positive space, here's my negative space. I have a nice flat field. And now I can go in there and I can put the yellows and the oranges and the reds in my painting without having to worry about having to do the background. Okay, the background's already done for me. I remove the masking fluid, and now I have a positive space and negative space. Keep in mind the eyes and the lips still have masking fluid on it. You can see here too, also on the tip of the nose and the cheeks. I'll use that as highlight. Now, I probably don't need it. It's just an extra layer of protection on it. You might be careful. You can see my hands turned a little purple, a little smudging, but I can take care of that with an eraser, and I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm all set to ready to go. So let's review just a little bit. We are expecting a final draft drawing to come in on Monday, January 11th. I'm expecting to have been organized with very clear design and composition, so I know exactly what the project is going to be before you get to final draft. You may keep your final draft in your sketchbook, and that's fine. But I do want to see thumbnails, roughs, color studies before you come in here, and that would be for all the projects. And keep in mind, any instructor in this school should be able to come up to any one of my students and ask them to look at their sketchbook. And when looking at a final draft, this person should be able to ask, what is the element you're using, and what principle do you wish to create? This is important now, especially from R3 and 4. You should understand that this is not just improvisation, this is not just self-expression. There is a methodology to creating art, and I want that to be followed. So with this one, we very clearly use line and shape, and we're trying to create movement. Now with my upper level students, you have the figure and you have color, and you should be adding something to it. But you should be able to create something interesting with that idea of I'm using line and shape, and I want to create movement. You can use the figure, you can use one panel, you can use 4 panels. Make sure you wash your hands. But I want something that shows your time, your skill, and your process. So remember to make art. Art won't make itself. And I'll see you Monday, January 11th, hopefully. Bye-bye.